Syria's civil war is expected to be one of the main subjects at the G8 summit that's underway currently in Northern Ireland. Meanwhile, the conflict there is expanding. Assad troops have made significant advances in recent weeks, but this could soon be over after the US offered backing for the Syrian opposition with lethal support. Let's get some thoughts on this. Go live to Brussels and talk to the chairman of the British National Party, Nick Griffin, who's a recent return from a fact-finding mission in Syria. Hi there, Nick. Thank you for being with us. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Trying to work this out. Why, instead of trying to calm the conflicting sides, are some international supporters here that I've just been talking about trying to balance the battlefield, as they put it, rather than doing something more calming?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. You know, when Cameron and the Americans say that we should arm the rebels, what they're saying is that a lot of people have been killed in a war, so the solution is to send more guns. I think it's madness. The
opposition remains emboldened by the supporters in the West. Does this support come at a price? How far does that support influence what the opposition does?
In a way, I think it's unfortunate, if there has to be help from the West, that it won't influence them at all, because the vast majority of the rebels aren't liberal Democrats who respect America and Western values. They're jihadists. You know, the first invasion of Syria by foreign forces is the fact that at least 40,000 of the so-called Syrian rebels are in fact jihadist terrorists from North Africa, Central Asia and even Western Europe. There's an estimated 600 Western European-born jihadis fighting against the Syrian government right now.
Another interesting question, of course, Assad's government is still the legitimate government in charge there, as voted in by the people. Why isn't there a greater call from international forces outside calling on the opposition to talk to Assad? Why is that not happening? This has gone on for such a long time now, and you don't hear that call.
Well, unfortunately, the Americans, the British, the French and especially the Saudis aren't playing this with a straight bat. Their interest isn't in sorting out the Syrian problem. It's overthrowing the Assad regime, which is really the last secular and tolerant regime in the whole of the Middle East, and replacing it with Wahhabi extremism. And politicians in France, Britain and America, they're in the pockets of the Saudis, and so they do what they're told.
Will Britain eventually, do you think, support Washington's idea to send lethal weapons to the opposition?
I certainly hope that Britain doesn't go down that road, but Cameron and Haig, seem determined to do. The British powers that be interfered with disastrous results in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and especially before the Tories get us into further trouble in Syria. They really need to answer the question of what did their attack on Libya do? Did it succeed or not? And the answer is no. It turned a little harmless secular dictatorship into a howling wilderness of Islamic fundamentalism and future violence against the West. And Syria is going to be 10 times worse.
Nick Griffin, chairman of the British National Party, thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you.